everybody, and welcome to Get Unmasked. We are not live this week, I apologize, but it's for a very good reason. The reason being is that I was able to interview a woman named Rae-Shan last week, and she was kind enough to share her story with us. Rae-Shan's story is very real and it's very raw, and because of that, there is some adult content. So I would recommend that when you watch today's show, that you either wear earbuds or that you have no small children in the room while you're watching the show. But I will say that Rae-Shan's story is powerful. That is a story of strength, of courage, of overcoming, and she's taken her story and has started a movement. She's taken her story and has made something positive out of it. It's a story that all women should hear. And I feel very privileged that she has come and she has shared her story with us. So I ask that you sit back, that you listen to her story, that you realize that every woman does have a story and should share her story, and that you check out her website at IAin'tThatChick.com, and that you see more about what she is doing to support women all over in their stories as she shares her own. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Get Unmasked. And we are not live this week, but I, as you can see, have a special guest. We are in a new area. We're not at my desk, so everything's a little bit different this week. And I am so excited to have a guest for the first time. So not only is it my first guest, I also had one of my first interviews a little bit earlier. And I am so excited. So without further ado, I'm going to let her introduce herself and share a little bit about her story.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for welcoming me. And you said I'm the first guest?
Yes, you are.
So I am so honored. My name is Rae-Shan Nate, and I have a movement. I have a ministry, and it's called I Ain't That Chick. And I Ain't That Chick is about self-empowerment, self-awareness, and self-respect. Because I believe that every woman has a story, and women empower women when we share our stories. So what I do is I have an online talk show. I have two, but today I'm here with I Ain't That Chick. And I interview women about their stories of empowerment because, you know, women empower women when we share our stories. So that's a little bit about me. You guys, I have to let you know I'm so used to interviewing women that I'm not used to being in this seat. So, you know, just a little, it's a little different for me, but it's exciting.
That's okay. We're just going to talk like we did with your show.
We're going to do, okay.
Just like we did with yours, but it's on the other side.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand how everybody feels. So I'm like, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. It's okay. Don't sweat it. And now
it's okay. It's okay. Well, we met at a function, and now I'm blanking. All I remember was hashtag, and I'm blanking hashtag love thyself, right? Hashtag love thyself. And it was an awesome event. And I remember we met across the room, you know, and we had our same colors, you know, the red and black. You guys know that they're my favorite colors with Unveiled and Unmasked. And so that was initially what drew me to you. And then they let us talk about our platforms and while we were there. And so you went first and I heard a little bit about what you said, and then I went, and I remember looking across the room going, we need to connect, right?
Yeah, because I wanted to talk to you about your story. So
I actually went and did a radio show back in June, and so that's awesome. So you do that as well.
It's called Chick Chat, and that's a different platform. We also do that on the radio as well, and that's just about when girlfriends come together. We chat about any and everything, and so it's my show. I have another co-host, and I leave that third seat open for people such as yourself that are working on something, that are doing something, or that are just simply girlfriends. That's and right. Every now and then we have a guy come in because every woman has that male friend that they like to pick his brain, they like to chat with.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was my first kind of interview too, so it's probably only fair that it was you. Okay. And I remember I was so nervous too. I was panicking because she also made me come to North Jersey, so I made her to come to South Jersey. You know, and we all know that South Jersey and North Jersey are like two different states.
Different worlds.
Yeah,
they
really
are.
And so and I took my mom, and you guys all have seen my mom, and you know my mom. So
she made it out of North Jersey.
Yeah, we made it home. Okay. We had a little detour. We almost made it to New York, actually. I don't think I told you that. No. We had a little, fobble there getting out of there, but we were all right.
That's a huge detour, though.
I don't know. I started seeing New York signs. I was like, oh, Mama, I think we're going the wrong way.
And it's funny, when I got down here, I said, oh, my gosh. I said, I don't know. I told my friend, I stopped by a bunch of trees, when the GPS says you've arrived. And on the left, it was like a bunch of trees. I think I had the wrong address. And I said, oh, my God, where am I? But I turned around. And so I understand how you felt.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was looking at so what started this movement for you? Like
Okay.
what kind of got you going in this? Because you don't just wake up one morning and
No,
go,
you don't.
I'm gonna do this.
No, and not me. I don't wake up and do stuff like, I'm from Jersey and I moved to LA to be in the entertainment business. And, I've lived there for 14 years. It was a process. And, I'm a Christian, love the Lord. And, I was lonely though, and I'm like, God, I want a husband, and there was no husband looking for me. There was nobody checking for me, and I'm going to church and I'm serving and I'm, with my girlfriends, but yet and still like, God, there's no man in my life. I was 30 something and I thought I would have been married by then. I would have had some kids. And so I often say that loneliness can make you do some things that you wouldn't normally do, or they'll make you do some things you would regret. So there happened to be a man in the midst. I didn't like him. Never kissed him, never held his hand or anything like that. And I knew he wasn't it, but I was lonely. And so he would put all these demands. He would say, Natay, you need to sleep with me, or Natay, you need to F me or whatever, give me some, or Natay, you need to give me a key to your home, or you need to cook for me. And my response was always, I ain't that chick, because I didn't like him, but I knew who I was and whose I was, but I was lonely. I wanted somebody saying, you look pretty, or I want to take you out to lunch. I want to take you. I wanted somebody investing in me.
Right.
I wanted somebody to see me, and there was nobody even looking at me at this time. So, we went out one time, and like I said, I never kissed him, never held his hand or anything like that. And I remember one night we were about to go out on our second date, and I'm in the mirror putting on all my MAC makeup, getting as beautiful as we women do. And I'm a Christian. So I heard the Holy Spirit say, Natay, if you don't give it to him, he's going to take it from you. And so that stopped me in my tracks. And I said, well, okay. I put my makeup down. And it's so important to be, to hear the voice of God, to know. So I packed my makeup up and I said, I can't go out that day. But I let a couple of weeks go by. And once again, loneliness will make you do some things that you shouldn't do. I kind of put that warning to the side when I should have kind of held it and kept it closed. So I remember it was daylight one day, and I allowed him to come over. I lived on the first floor, and I had my shades completely up. I'm a little stuck here. I had my shades completely up and just thinking I'm safe, because you don't think anything's going to happen. I allowed him to come over, and we were on the couch looking at TV, and in the blink of an eye, he says to me, I want you to, suck my, I want you to suck my dick, in other words. And I said, what? Like where is this coming from? I had on a pair of cargo pants. He jumps up off my couch, and he jumps up to snatch my blinds down. He knocks me on the floor, and he took his clothes off. He took his pants down, and he's trying to insert himself in my mouth and in my inside of me. And I just remember being on the floor and on my elbows, and I was covering myself because I was ashamed. He's 6'5", I'm 5'2.5" on a good day. He had knocked me on the floor, and on my floor there's a floor length mirror, and I'm on my elbows and I'm backing up. I'm scared to death. Nobody knew he was at my house. I didn't know where he lived, so I couldn't tell anybody where to go. I remember backing up, and I was conscious I didn't want to bust my head through that glass, but I was holding myself because to keep him out of me. And all I could say, I remember saying, Jesus. That's all I could say. My mom would say, when you don't know what else to say, you say Jesus. And all I could say was Jesus. And in one hand, I'm using one elbow to back up. I'm using one hand to cover myself. And all I could say was Jesus. And it goes by so quickly. And people will say, why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you do that? You don't have time to think. You don't know. And so by the time I got back to the mirror, I remember him coming to himself. And I say that because a lot of times when you're intimate with a man, sometimes a man can go someplace where he loses sight of you and he's into himself at that moment. And I remember him coming to himself and saying, I don't have to do this to you. And then I heard a voice, which I believe was the Lord, saying, stay calm. Because had I gone sister girl and snapping my neck and, trying to hit him or yelling at him, he could have snapped my neck out of fear or whatever. And nobody would have known, nobody knew where I was. So I heard a voice saying, be calm. And it was like, just get him to the door. So he started fixing his pants, and he was saying, but I want to come back. I want to see you tonight. And I was just, I didn't say anything. And I remember scooting back away from him and him fixing his pants. And I just got him to that door. When he got to, thank God he was not successful at raping me. When he got to that door, I just remember just putting my back up against that door, and I just cried because it was so surreal. It was nothing. And he had stalked me for a point after this. I remember one instance where I was home by myself, and I would come out the showers late at night. And again, the blinds are drawn. And I always hear myself saying the blinds are drawn because as victims, you try to, like, God, did I do anything to entice or to lead anybody? And I just remember one day I was coming out the shower, and I was going into my bedroom to, put clothes on. And I heard a voice come from somewhere that said, Natay, open up this door. And I froze because I didn't. And I remember I froze, and he was like, I see you. You better open this door. Before I break in there. I didn't know where he was coming from. I didn't know where he was. And I remember I crouched on the floor, and I stayed there for hours. I didn't move. I wouldn't move. And that's not me on a good day. So for somebody to have you messed up like that. And I was so scared, and I just stayed, and I had cramps in my legs because I wouldn't move. I'm naked, crouched like that until I thought it was safe to move. So I felt like if I moved, he might bust through my bedroom window, or he might bust through the door. And I just didn't know what would happen. And so for like more than a year, I wouldn't go out my house at nighttime because I lived in a building. My car was parked in a carport in the back. I wouldn't go out at night because I didn't know. I was out one time. I was with a girlfriend, and he was standing in the corner looking and watching and staring. So I just didn't know. And people would say, well, why didn't you report him to the police? Police don't always protect you, for one. And I thought in somewhere where I thought that I was saving my own life. I thought if I didn't say anything to him, if I didn't make a scene, that I would be okay. And, I ended up being okay. But, so I knew, so getting back to I Ain't That Chick, I knew that if I had a story, that other women had a story. And so I moved back to New Jersey, and I just, God began to deal with me. And he said, I want you to start speaking to women. And I remember saying, like, God, I don't want to, that's not my thing. I just really, but I've been walking with God. I had a relationship long enough to know that to be obedient is better than to sacrifice. So I got my cell phone out, and I taped it to a broken tripod, rubber banded it to a broken tripod. And I remember asking my best friend, because I knew she had a situation she had gone through, and if she would share her story with me. And I don't think I even had the tripod at this time. I had her daughter hold up my cell phone. And she did that. So the second, I said, okay, Lord, I did it. I'm done. And it said, no, you keep going. And I said, what? And so it was another young lady. I said, well, let me call her. And when I called her, her response to me was, God told me that you were going to call me today. And whatever you were to ask me, I was to say yes to. And I said, wow. And after that, honestly, women have come to me. It's just been a blessing.
Right.
Because there's so many women that have stories. And it's not about me or anything. It's just about women empowering women when we share our stories. So that is how I Ain't That Chick came to be.
Well, I am glad you are back in Jersey.
Thank
and
you.
that you are sharing
Thank
your
you.
story. And every woman does have a story.
We do.
Yeah. And I can tell you that my ex-boyfriend many years ago, I remember we went after I dealt with his issue. He followed me around for quite a while. And I was in high school, and I was at play practice, and I will never forget, I was with my husband at the time, and he followed me to the play, like the after play party, and he had a very distinct vehicle. And one thing I will say that the kids there were awesome in the fact that some of my friends in high school actually patrolled Hamilton to make sure he had left the town, because I was scared to death just seeing his vehicle.
Yeah.
It wasn't even him I saw, it was just the car, and it freaked me out. And that was after things had happened between us. And so I can totally get that. When I look at all the things you do. Now you go out and you public speak, and you do events, and I see you do like a girls empowerment conference. How is that?
I have a girls high school empowerment tour where I go into the high schools and I speak to girls about self-respect. Because I remember what it was like to be in high school, and you deal with we dealt with so many things back then, but nowadays these young ladies, they deal with issues with their identity, sexuality, it's peer pressure, of course, and it's this social media thing that is so huge. I know if I deal and have some struggles with social media, I know that young girls do too.
Right.
So it's just teen pregnancy, and I tell you, the responses that I get from the girls, they come up to me in tears and say thank you for talking to us. And I don't pull any punches. Also, it's about academics. You've got to be great in school, and you know what? I talk to them like I'm their sister or like I'm their friend. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, because you know what? When you're with your friends, you're not sugarcoating.
Right.
When you're with the boys, you're not sugarcoating anything. So, and I really feel like in order to effectively minister to people, and ministering is just sharing.
Right.
In order for me to effectively share, I have to be transparent. I have to be open.
Right.
If I make it so nice and sweet, then you know what? You don't get the message. And so that has been phenomenal. I'm still, I'm still working on it and still going into more school. So I love that. That's my heart. Because, when I went to high school with some bullying and stuff, and, I didn't feel comfortable, talking to anybody. And sometimes they just need to see that somebody has been through the same situation and they've made it. So it just encourages them. If I made it, you can make it too.
And so much is different. I mean, the
gosh,
things that they know compared to what I think I knew when I was 15
I
and
wanted
what
to kiss
they
a boy.
do.
That was it.
I know.
I mean, it's sex, and a lot of women are dealing, you know, a lot of girls are dealing with their sexuality and just, you know, their image, and not because, of course, everything on social media is so much access.
I said, if the stuff we did was on Facebook, I mean, could you just imagine if some of the stuff that we did? I mean,
Kill us.
I know.
And then you know, so much bullying.
It's stuck there forever.
And that's what I tell them too. It never goes away.
And they don't think about that.
They don't think about this.
No.
The decisions that you make today affect all of your tomorrows.
Yep,
and even when you're
exactly.
going for jobs or college scholarships, these schools, these employers look at your social media.
Yep, exactly.
Your social media. And then also I tell them, you have the rest of your life to be in love, to have a relationship, to go through those ups and downs. Play a sport, get involved in something, do something, just do something else. You have the men, I'm 43 and fine. And I still have issues and struggles with relationships.
Yep.
So that will be there the rest of your life. Be a kid when you can be a kid.
Yep.
And I know it doesn't make sense to them, but while you don't have any responsibilities such as mortgage or children, enjoy your youth.
I know.
Enjoy
I
your
try to tell my son
youth.
that. He's 13 and he thinks he's grown, and you know.
They want to
He
grow
just
so
doesn't.
quickly.
I
And enjoy
know.
that season.
I know.
You know, think outside the box before you have to get a job. And not a career that you love, but before you have to get a job and keep your nose to the grindstone, I tell them, think outside the box, because I think they are that's the richest generation, our younger, generation. Think of what you can invent, what you can create. Get some momentum behind that. Invent something. Start your own business. Start your own company, because the millennials, they have access to it. We didn't have as much access to it. We didn't have social media.
Nope.
We had a Walkman and, stuff like that.
Yeah, not till the end.
Not till the end.
Like I was in like,
We
late
didn't
high
have
school
internet
and stuff like that. Yeah.
I didn't. We used to go to the library to do book reports, to get the encyclopedias.
Yeah.
Now they can just couple clicks online, and they have so much access, but take that access and use it for something good.
Yeah. Instead of watching just YouTube all day long.
All day long.
I know.
Yeah, do something.
I mean, and I mean, YouTube is good for its purposes, but just like everything else, it's in moderation,
It's
and
in
things can be
moderation.
used for good or
and
not.
it's about self, it's about, that's why I have self-empowerment, self-awareness, self-respect, because I believe it lies within. Empowerment lies within, and sometimes it falls dormant, it falls asleep, but sometimes you just need to hear something that will reawaken it, that will give you that jolt. It's like a defibrillator. When you put it back on, it brings life.
Right.
So with women sharing their stories, with me speaking, I want to be the, I ain't that chick. I want that to be the defibrillator that restores life.
Now you use those 3 words. They're 3 distinct words.
Yes.
Some people kind of lump them all together. How do you see them as different, and how do they work together to create the kind of woman that you're hoping to
that's a loaded question. I think, again, they are different. Empowerment is a very popular word now, because you look around, everybody's empowerment. But self-awareness, I think every woman comes to a moment in their life where they become more aware, become more aware of who they are, where they want to go. It's okay for you to say no to things that you wouldn't say no to. It's okay. I don't care what you think about me, So that's a moment of self-awareness and self-respect, where I don't do those. I value myself. Respect me because I respect myself. It doesn't matter what you think about me. It matters what I think about myself. And if I carry myself that way, then you know what? You have no choice other than to respect me. And it's not just with girls, it's with young women. You know what? I used to teach in LA, and a lot of the girls wore these colorful bracelets, and the colorful bracelets, kind of told what sexual favors they would do for these little boys that's in school that probably could not even give a speech, but the girls are wearing bracelets for the boys to say what sexual favors. Respect yourself. You got to respect. And these are decisions today that you're going to make that are going to carry you to adulthood. And I promise you that you're going to grow up to be a young lady, and you're going to see some of these young boys again. Don't do that. Love yourself. And if you don't know what self-respect is, then let's talk about it. How do you start respecting yourself?
Right.
It's okay to say no. It's okay. No, you know what? No, you know what? I'm not going to cheat on that test. You know what? No, I'm not going to bully somebody on social media. No, you know what? You can't, like a lot of our music, you can't call me a bitch. You can't call me a hoe and have me clap to it and me raise my hand and dance. You can't do that. I ain't that chick. I ain't that chick. And also what I love about the statement is that if you've not arrived to the place where you can, where you can tell somebody no, where you can say no, I can't do. You can just say, I ain't that chick. Walk away and be thinking like, what did I just say? But the statement is powerful in and of itself, where they have to say, you know what? I guess she ain't about that life. She's not gonna do that. Exactly. So that's what it is. And I think each statement is so individual that not, you may not, one person, one girl, one woman may not need to work on all three, but if you get one, that right there, finding your moment of self-empowerment, finding your moment of awareness or self-respect, that contributes to making you whole. Because I believe in life is a process. It's a journey.
Most definitely.
We're never a whole person by ourselves. I think throughout life, you're always going to be working on something. But if you can fix little pieces, little nuggets here and there, then that works on becoming the whole woman. So not that we have the answer to everything. Right. I think everybody plays a part in this journey of empowerment, of self-awareness. But if we can give you a little piece here, and when you get a little further down the road, if you can get a little piece there, that contributes to being the whole woman.
Well, I totally agree. Well, my last question, I'm so thankful that you hopped in here, is what do you see for the future of I Ain't Got That Chick? If you could picture your future, what would it be? What is the goal at the end of the road?
The goal at the end of the road is to not stop. I want to continue talking to women. Of course, I would love to have a show, a platform, and, reach people, because it's about reaching people. And I often say it's not about me. It's so not about me. And sometimes when I, do the interviews, sometimes I'm just in tears afterwards, because I can see the woman on the opposite side of that camera. Right. And she's finding life. She's finding strength. So that's what it's about. But also there is another side to it. I would love to have a show on a broader spectrum, and I want to reach more women. I want to go out and speak to more women. I do have an empowerment line of t-shirts, and I would love to, have that out there. I have the glitter now. Can you see it? It's called I Ain't That Chick. And also the wording I Ain't That Chick, it's in the woman's hair, because a lot of times our hair is our statement of empowerment. Oh, yeah. We define ourselves by our hair and stuff. And so she's made her statement as she's flowing, as she's walking. She's got her statement. I love that. So yeah, so what, I can't even begin to sit here and tell you all the things that I want to do with it, because I feel like it's God's giving it to me. So I always tell people, as God opens the door, I'll go.
And where can they go? Where can they go to get more info?
It's really simple. IAin'tThatChick.com is IAINTTHATCHICK.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for visiting with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I think I'm getting over my nerves now.
Oh, well, I'm so glad. Well, we are going to sit and chat a little bit longer probably, but I will see you all next week, and we are going to talk about the rest of The Perfect Mom, and then we will move on to our next mask, and I will talk to you all later. Have a blessed day.
Bye.
Bye.